Hello there. Today I made PONG. Uh, Actually, I just did it without any help to start with. Or I did it the whole thing without any help today. Because she said that would be a challenge, and I'm always up to challenge. So let's just show the program. Okay, so I moved my PONGs up and down, or my paddles, and the ball, it bounces. It keeps scores, just like it should work, and so on. So that's the game. So let's go through the process. I first started with setting up the screen. Of course, I import all the stuff, but yeah, I first make the screen, set up the size. I'm just going to turn that on. I set the background to be black, and I just wanted the title to be PONG. Then I have it screen listen and screen tracer for future stuff, so everything looks good. And the screen listens to my key presses. So that was just the start. Then I made the middle line thing in the middle. This thing here, it's look nice. So that's just a simple turtle that draws a line and skips draws 15 paces, then skips 12 paces. Nothing add-ons here. Then I moved on to my paddle. I have one class, paddles, and I have the screen for controlling. Let's actually check this out here. Let's take this later. Let's start with this. I have my segments for the list, and the segments for the left side, because I thought I had to do I actually have like 5 squares that I move up and down, and the same on the right side. When I look at my teacher solution later, I see that you can actually make the turtle really tall, the object really tall. So that would have been so much easier, but I solved this problem, so that's really nice. So I have segment list for each side, for the right and the left side. And then I make all these objects. So I make 5 for each position. So I have the positions here for the left side, here for the right side. So I make 5 segments for each side. So I start with the left. And I started just programming the left side because I can just do the opposite for the right later. So first I made a segment. It's of course a turtle, pen up, it's a square, it's white. Set the position, which I have in that list, and then I add it to the segment list left. Then I started moving to how to actually move them. That took a while. I had to do some, how can I say it, some tweaks. I know from yesterday when making Snake that I could make it so the segment behind in the list follows where the thing in front of it are in the list. So I made a very similar thing to move everything up and down in a nice way. So if we move up, I take the square that is furthest up, which is my number 4 in the list for me, and then it actually goes in there. How can I say it, reverse or plus here. So then the third follows the fourth, the second follows the fifth, and so on. No, wait here. Move up yeah, that should be right. And then so here every segment checks for the coordination for the segment in front. That's about it. Goes to those coordinates. Nothing weirder than that. And I actually have this distance minus 20 to because I had a problem. If I actually remove this part, maybe we'll see. They will separate in a very weird way. I think that's because it's moving too far, and the squares are not that big. So I just add this, so they are still close to each other, but everybody moves the distance I want. So if I have a large distance, it doesn't matter. So I have my distance minus the square size, or length, or height, or what you call it. And then so basically I move the segment that's furthest up when I'm going up, and then the rest of them follows. The moving down is exactly the same, but the opposite. Everything follows the square that's at the bottom. Yeah, and then I have the make paddle right. I have the same things here for the right paddle. And then I have this easy screen screen for controlling on keys. So here I have keys for everything. So for the left paddle, I have W, yeah, W, and S to move up or down. And then I have for the right one, I have up or down keys. So that took probably the most of the amount of time to just set it up. So a lot of code, ish. Then I moved to the ball. This was also quite tricky, but I made this. I made it so the ball inherited all the traits and attributes from turtle. So I made it a circle, I made it white, I made it half the size, made it so it doesn't draw, and then I have a starting position. This one is kind of weird, but I will explain. So every start, it will go to 0, 0, and it will head in a random direction. I don't want it to head. Why I have it so specific is because I don't want it to head straight up, straight down, bounce, 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 or straight to the left, straight to the right, because then it will just never change direction. We just go for going backward. So I just made a random. Let's see here. I just made it so if this random number, if random.randit is 1, it will move this direction. Actually, see now I made it. It's a little weird, but it works. So if it's 1, it will move in those headings. So 120 to 220 is, let's see here, in this turtle problem, the 90-degree is straight up. So 120, it would be in this direction. I actually have done something wrong here. This should be not 220. This should be set random 120 to 175. So sorry. So it will never reach 180. Then the next one is the square below in that area. I can actually show it. So I want one heading there, one heading there, one heading there, one heading there. So everything will be random. As you see, it shows us a random direction every time, each round. But yeah, it's a little weird, but it works perfect. I have it so it's moving forward in five paces each round, what you can say. And now I have the angle thing here. This is a very long one, but it works perfect for because it's for the wall and the walls, the up or lower wall, and it's for the paddles. This is super long because I have a square, 5 squares in the paddle. If I only had one square, it would be very short. So that makes sense. So, okay, let's explain here. So if the ball reaches coordinates, so if the ball reaches coordinates, it's the upper wall. So here it's 310, it will bounce. That's basically what I've coded, and it will bounce off the paddles. So what actually took me the time was just to figure out how to do the calculation to bounce in the direct direction. So it's just the angle of the wall times 2 minus my angle. So my heading. So if I come in at the 100 heading, I'll just take 180 times 2, which is 320, right? Oh, sorry, 360 and minus 100, and then it will go to 260 heading, which is kind of weird, but it works perfect. So 100 and then 260. Choof, choof, choof. And that's just what I've done for everything here. I set the angle of the wall it will hit and then bounce off. For the paddle, I have just done this. I've set it to the distance instead of the coordination. So if the paddle is close to the ball, then if the distance dot paddle left is close to the ball, and it will bounce off. And the angle for the paddles are 90, and so on. So it's the base, same thing. So that was the ball. Then we have my scoreboard. The scoreboard I have is just this, the counting, so to keep track of how many scores each side has, and it changes in the middle. So I have some global scopes here. I have the left position, the right position, I have the alignment, and I have my font. I make the score left, the score right. I have a list for the different places. I make the left one, I make the right one. I place them in a list. So the first one is the left one, so score left. The font, it's nothing advanced. Very simple, very easy. Make score. It clears every time you get a score, so the text doesn't print on. Maybe I can just show it. Okay. Oh, that's actually a loop here. 1, Wow. Oh, there you see it. If I remove it, it will look horrible. Yeah, so that was basically the program. And if I look at the main file now, I import every class from all my modules. So I make the pattern, I make the ball, I make the paddles, I make the scoreboard, and I have a while loop, of course. So in the while loop, I can move the paddles. I will update the screen, and I have a sleep time 0.01. So the ball moves in a nice pace. The ball thing moving, so it moves all the time, and it bounces. And here I needed to have my paddles, the to list of the paddles, so I know what to bounce off. And if the ball reaches the behind the paddles, I get a score and I move the ball to the starting position. That's the game. So I'm pretty happy I managed to do it. And now if I look at the teacher's version, I can actually take everything down here. It's very similar. I'm just very confused with the ball thing. I need to check this up in some way. So her way of counting, of getting the angles, I don't really get. Minus 1.09 is very weird. Otherwise, it's kind of similar. The scoreboard, yeah, the scoreboard is basically the same. The paddle is would be very similar. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, I had a hard time making a super for the paddles. For the paddle to inherit the turtle. She made it easy. Wait, let's see here. Super def go up. She actually only have one paddle. Okay, boring or weird. But sure. Okay, but yeah, here's the fun thing that I could have done. I could have just made the square really big instead of making 5. And then if I check her main file, she also set up the screen, the tracer. That's how she does it. Okay, she just makes 2 objects here. That's really smart. Also, nice. It works really good. Just my problem is that I made 5 segments, so it would be kind of hard to code maybe. She made, well, let's move on. She makes the ball, the scoreboard, and then she likes to have the screen listen and the keys on the main.py. I actually like to have it in the paddle module side. Just can move it in. Yeah, then she has the screen.update in the while loop. She ball move. And okay, I thought I had to have the paddle.movement in the while loop. I guess I don't. But yeah, she has the ball bounce and ball x core or ball x distant L paddle. Yeah, she has some good if statements for the bounces. But yeah, that was it for me today. Maybe I need to check out her review of it, how to do this stuff. So we'll learn some more. But I managed to program it. Wait, we can run her thing. Yeah, she has some bug in the code. Maybe she tells something about it in the lessons. Because this is not how it should be. But thank you for listening and have a good day.